Hello, my friends, and welcome to the podcast with the ever-changing name. Well, hopefully this is the final decision on the name, and I don't know. I feel like naming it the Sabrina Scott podcast and my old image, like even when I named it that and even when I made the image, it didn't really sit 100% with me. And I do feel like this is the one. Obviously, you guys know that my membership and community is called the Claim Your Magic Community and Membership. So you guys might be like, oh my God, Sabrina, stop it with the whole Claim Your Magic thing. But I kind of love it because the word magic, for me, it is something I relate to literally. And in the sense of the self-development and self-improvement work that I do with my clients and my students, we can see magic as it's literal in a little bit of a different way, right? As you guys probably know, I had that little viral, I don't even know what to call it, like Instagram position statement with text that went pretty popular a few years back that said magic is not a metaphor, witchcraft is not a metaphor. And while I absolutely agree with that, the type of magic that I'm talking about in both my community, the Claim Your Magic community, and now this podcast, the Claim Your Magic podcast, obviously we're talking about witchcraft. That's going to happen at some point. We're going to talk about energy work, literal magic, literal spirituality. And while it still and will forever irk me when people don't really use the word magic to refer to witchcraft kind of magic, when they use it to refer to, I don't even know what, or they use witchcraft as like some random archetypal symbol of feminism or whatever, which I personally don't agree with at all. So you guys might be like, oh, it's kind of ironic, Sabrina. Weren't you saying that magic is not a metaphor? And it's like, yeah, it isn't. At the same time, I do believe that people's inner fire, people's inner magic, people's uniqueness, authenticity, unique voice, unique offering into the world in the form of their being, in the form of their enthusiasm, in the form of their unique blend of perspectives, experiences, talents, skills, existence, that is a literal form of magic as well. And while it might not be the witchcraft kind of magic, there is this kind of transformative alchemical aspect to that process. And that's part of what I'm also talking about in this podcast, in my membership, in all of the work that I do with anyone ever. Ultimately, I've realized it is about connecting people with, yes, literal witchcraft, but also that literal alchemy, fire, transformation, which is a form of magic in and of itself. It's not magic in terms of lighting candles and saying prayers and lighting incense, but there is a magic to the act, the art of becoming who we're meant to be. And I do think witchcraft and that kind of magic can help usher us onwards to that goal, to that process, to that way of being. It is also its own form of magic in and of itself. So anyway, that is the short version about finally settling on this name for the podcast. So thank you guys for being with me on the journey as I figure out what the hell to call what I do. So here we are. Anyway, happy belated spring equinox. It snowed like crazy the past few days here in Toronto, and I personally am loving this blast of snow. It is up to my mid-shin, and honestly, stomping around in the snow makes me feel like a little kid in the best possible way. And it was really fun just to stomp around in the snow yesterday when it was coming down like crazy, and to see other grown adults do the exact same thing. And I love snowstorms for this reason, especially when the snow is light and fluffy. And I love connecting with that joyful, wondrous part of myself that still takes so much pleasure in something as simple and banal, and yet as absolutely magnificent as a snowstorm. And just connect with that joy and that vitality. And I love doing that myself, and I also love watching other people do it. I love that so many different people from different walks of life were doing the same thing I was doing yesterday. I was in my gigantic, oversized, light pink winter jacket and my gigantic winter moon boots. They're actually Uggs, but they look just kind of ridiculous and huge. With me looking kind of silly, stomping around, and I saw a group of hip-hop looking dudes stomping around in the snow too, and some business guys stomping around in the snow as well. And it was just really cool to see how something as simple as a snowstorm can connect adults from different walks of life, different vibes, different communities, most likely, just can connect us all in this unique moment of just joy and fun and pleasure and play. And it can feel kind of scary to open up to play. It really can, especially for those of us who are healing from trauma or have just been there recently. And I don't know, it's just something I think about a lot, right? This amazingness of opening up to play. And I love how changing weather is this beautiful opportunity to lean into that and to expand our capacity to receive the impulse to play, right? This invitation that I got yesterday from the huge snowstorm, and we've got, thank God, I'm so excited, inches of snow left over today, because sometimes it just melts overnight. So it's really nice that it's stuck around. And I'm looking out my window and I'm seeing the icicles melting and dripping as the sun is warming up just slightly today. And there is this beautiful simplicity. Snow, at least here in Canada, is quite normal. It's very banal. It's very boring. It's very everyday. But one of the reasons I love the season so much is we do see these cycles, these changes, how snow does only happen in a small portion of the year. And same with the long yawn of summertime, with it being super, super hot. And I love that. And I do think this is part of what witchcraft invites us into, is, again, and I talk about this in my book, Witchbody, this phrase that I coined, and I keep coming back to it, this idea of reinvigorated presence, and how witchcraft, at least as I understand it and have always understood it, it's not about going somewhere necessarily. It's so much more about just being where we are, but being present in an even more extreme, present, embodied, thinking, feeling, being kind of way. And I love weather for this. I just love it. I love the rain. I just love the sun. I love the dour kind of cloudy days too, because they're each bringing us different energies, different gifts, different opportunities to lean into these different aspects of ourselves. So I really love that. So I don't want to be a super long episode today. I just wanted to share some of those thoughts on the weather and the snow, even though now we're technically in spring. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're able to just take some time this weekend to be very present with whatever weather it is that your particular part of the world is blessed with this weekend. Whether that's sun, or that's rain, whether that's heat, snow, whatever. And before I sign off, I just wanted to plug the tarot reading for the week ahead that I did on Tuesday. I actually did something since it was the equinox. I did something I don't usually do, which was I pulled a card for every single astrological sign. And so someone very kindly decided to post a comment on that and tagged with a timestamp each of the signs. So go check that out if you haven't yet. And it's never too late to listen. And one of the things I actually really love to do is to, at the end of my week, listen to the tarot for the week ahead and just see how did that stack up with how my week went in hindsight, in retrospect. I think that can be a really grounding exercise to engage in. And I also wanted to do a little bit of a heads up for anyone who's on my mailing list. You will probably already know this. I am doing a little relaunch of my Tarot Without Bullshit program. So this has been running since 2019, has changed hundreds of lives, I'm very pleased to say. And it's honestly the best tarot course on the internet. It is a true thing. And yeah, the doors will be open later on this weekend for about a week. And I'm just really, really excited to have it on offer again, as I just do think that what better time to dive into tarot if you haven't done so already than today. I mean, hello, why not? If the Aries season, spring equinox, movement, burst of new energy is kind of nudging you to dive into your tarot practice, I got you covered. I will put a link to all my links in the description of this episode, so feel free to click one of my freebies, either my 13 witchy books list or my 4 easy tarot spreads, and all you gotta do is put in your email address into that. You'll get one of those lovely free guides, and then you will get all my future emails about the class. That will be the course, really. 20 hours plus and 100 pages of worksheets. So it's honestly more than a class. It's a mega course, if I can say so. For Tarot Without Bullshit, you will get all the info. And if for whatever reason it's not working or you can't find it or whatever, just pop me an email, ceo@sabrinamscott.com. And oh yeah, in case you guys don't know, my tarot for the week ahead is always over on YouTube. So youtube.com/Sabrina Scott. And that will also be in the links link. It's like a whole bunch of links in that one link. Okay, guys, thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to chatting with y'all again soon. Much love. Take care. Bye.